What's up and welcome to Versus Battle Cards. Today we have another Disney duel. It's between Ian Lightfoot from Pixar's Onward versus Jafar from Disney's Aladdin. Now admittedly, these two don't really have a bunch in common, besides from just being magic users. But that's okay. You don't need a gigantic laundry list of connections to make it a cool fight. Just picture it in your head. These two battling would be awesome. But of course, as usual, only one can come out on top, so let's find out who it is. According to the Discord poll, wow, nobody believes in Ian. Well, one person does, but it's likely out of pity. But who knows, it could be a huge upset. Let's see if Pixar's silly little wizard can prove everyone wrong. Ian is packed with magic spells, which he can perform with his wizarding staff. There's Aloft Elevar, a levitation or telekinesis spell which allows him to stop falling objects or just simply move and lift things. There's Magnora Ganchuan, a growth spell that can shrink or grow an object over several hundred times its original size. If he ever loses his wizard staff, he can use Magnora Ganchuan to get a new one by increasing the size of a splinter. He has a disguise spell, allowing him to shapeshift and completely change his voice to whatever he wishes, just as long as he doesn't lie. There's Bridgergar Invisia, allowing him to create an invisible bridge wherever he likes, kind of like a pseudo-flight where he can just walk or run on the air. There's Excellior, a velocity spell which he can use to change the speed of an object. He can combine it with Aloft Elevar to throw things with an extremely powerful force. There's Boombastia, a simple projectile attack that creates fireworks. Great for distracting and damaging enemies. But then there's his most powerful spell, an arcane lightning technique called Voltar Thunderseer. It shoots out a powerful bolt that can break apart stone with ease. These spells do come at a bit of a price though. Now there's no limit to Ian's magic, he can do them as much as and whenever he wants to, but running around and using them in rapid succession can tire him out a bit. Moving on to Jafar, and before I say anything he has, I want to go ahead and make a note that we are not using Genie Jafar. Although he has infinite cosmic power in this form, he is literally not allowed to take a life, and this continues on to the sequel where he gets re-released. This isn't nerfing Jafar, this is just the rules of his character. We can absolutely use his second wish form though, where he's the most powerful sorcerer in the world. Even before that, he was a master of hypnosis, using his snake staff to control the Sultan. As a sorcerer, Jafar has puppetry, being able to control the bodies and actions of others. He also has transmutation, being able to revert ages or change people into different objects. He can use levitation to just push people away or fling things as far as to the Arctic. He can create a bunch of objects out of nothing like all of these swords, he can breathe fire, or he can transform into a gigantic skyscraper-sized snake. Overall, the arsenal category is surprisingly tricky to decide. They have a pretty similar amount of spells and they both have things that are pretty useful which the other does not. For example, Jafar's transmutation. Ian doesn't really have anything with hacks on that level, but he has Magnora Ganchuan, which allows him to regrow his staff if he ever loses it. Jafar seems to need his staff. He also has superior mobility with Bridgergar Invisia, allowing him to create bridges for pseudo-flight. We see Jafar floating and ascending for a bit when Genie transforms him into a sorcerer, but never afterwards. So it's unlikely that Jafar can fly on his own. With Jafar's hacks and Ian's failsafe and mobility, I'd say the arsenal category is a tie. Let's see what the YouTube comments are thinking though. Speed-wise, Ian should win thanks to Voltar Thunderseer, which shoots lightning. None of Jafar's magic spells display anything that come close to that level of speed. His best one is when he sends a palace tower to Antarctica. Now, Agrabah, where all these characters live, is a fictional location, but it's likely based on either Agra, India or Baghdad, Iraq. For the palace tower to reach Antarctica from that distance in about, let's say, 5 minutes, it would only be 90,000 miles per hour. Now we could highball the feat and get Jafar a little bit closer at 460,000 miles per hour, assuming it only took 1 minute instead of 5, but that's kind of pushing it. However, I want to remind you that this is only the speed of their magic, not their reaction speed, not their combat speed, not their travel speed. In those other categories, they're pretty even, at above average human level. Strength, on the other hand, is a lot easier to figure out. It goes to Jafar. Now, Ian's no slouch. His magic is pretty tough too, with his Voltar Thunderseer being able to blow apart stone with ease at small building level. But Jafar is able to completely blow that out of the water. Not only can his magic manipulate entire buildings, but he's powerful enough to fling them across the globe in mere minutes. Considering the Sultan's palace bears a lot of resemblance to the Taj Mahal, the main dome of which weighs about 12,000 tons, in order for Jafar to fling it across the planet as fast as he did, his magic must be as powerful as 2 megatons of TNT, enough to wipe out a small city. However, again, this is just their magic strength, not their physical strength. They're still pretty even there at peak human. However, Jafar in his snake form should be at least building level just based off his size alone. So he still has the lead here. Let's see what the Discord predictions are thinking. The bonus category goes to Jafar. Even before he wished to become a sorcerer, he was already experimenting with magic and hypnosis. Ian has only had a day or two to learn magic, a couple weeks at most by the complete end of the movie. So Jafar leads in experience, and although his sorcerer form only lasted a couple hours, he did specifically wish to be the most powerful sorcerer in the world, ensuring that he had mad skills right off the bat. He's also able to use as much magic as he wants to without getting winded, while Ian got a bit overtaxed. Intelligence is debatable. Ian's just a kid pretty much, but he's very cautious and careful. And while Jafar is super tricky and manipulative, he is pretty arrogant and is pretty easy to trick himself. But considering everything we've gone over today, the winner of this battle is going to be Jafar. This was an extremely close match. I know Onward isn't much of a classic, but you guys have gotta stop underestimating these new Disney guys. Eventually it's gonna come back to bite ya. Now physically, Ian and Jafar were pretty much on the same page, being comparable to other average athletic or peak humans in both speed and strength. And their arsenals were even comparable as well, being similar in size and each of them having their own unique things that the other did not. However, it was the raw power of Jafar's magic and his skill with it that turned the tides in his favor. Ian may be able to roam where Jafar cannot with Bridgergar and Vizia, but there's nothing protecting him from getting transformed into a clapping monkey toy or being put into an unbreakable hourglass. Not to mention, Jafar's snake form would give him a physical edge, allowing him to take multiple hits from Ian's Voltar Thunderseer. Ian's magic may win out in speed, but considering everything else Jafar has, it just wouldn't be enough. The winner is Jafar. But let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with this outcome? And thank you for predicting in this episode. Be sure to predict the next fight with a comment down below, a comment in my Discord server, voting in the Discord poll, or making a video prediction. For the next fight, we've been on a bit of a villain streak lately. Let's get back to the heroes. 2 silent but deadly blonde bruisers who wake up in a strange new world with strange new people, mastering the elements and trying to reunite with the ones they love. It's Jack from Jak and Daxter versus the Traveler from Genshin Impact.